how our whole entire remote system works and how we help our athletes increase their velocity in season, off season, preseason, whatever the circumstances are. We help them increase their velocity by us being an extension of where they're currently at and making sure that we're molding the program into the athlete, not the athlete into the program. Without further ado, we've been getting a lot of great questions about how we actually do this remotely, and questions like, how do we keep our athletes accountable? How do we know they're getting better? What is the goal system? How often are we checking in? What is communication like? How do we get these assessments remotely? And also, how do we give them the feedback remotely for those athletes who are more visual learners? So with this video, I'm gonna go ahead and break every single thing down. Now, a couple of housekeeping stuff. When an athlete signs up with us, the first thing that they do is that we get them onboarded onto our Bridge app, which is where they're gonna have all of their lifting plan, corrective movements, arm care, etc. And then we also get them onboarded on towards our main communication channel, which is Discord. In there, that's where they're going to be sending us videos. That's where we're going to follow up through our communication, and every single thing is going to be centralized through that channel. Now, without further ado, once they're in and all of that is done, first thing that we're going to do is they have to run through an integrated movement assessment. Now, this assessment is going to be performed remotely, and within this assessment, it won't look like this. Remember, this is on my back end. These athletes will have it on an app, nicely, neatly clean, and also very user friendly. Now, as you can see, a couple of the exercises here. Again, once they go into the app, they're going to click on the exercise. There's going to be a video with me showing them how to get this exercise shown, how to record this exercise, and also how to upload it within the app itself. Now, after that is done, this first assessment is going to give us the understanding of the movement limitations that they have within their bodies. The reason why that is important is because it's going to give us more information about what we should be attacking within the gym to make sure that we're inhibiting those motions and making sure that they're getting in and out of the positions that they need to get into much more fluidly, while also eliminating pain and the chances of injury. After that is done and we've gathered that information, we would then get on a live call where we will perform our second assessment, which is the motor preference assessment. Now, that assessment itself is going to be very important and vital for us, probably the most vital one, because it's going to give us the understanding of how this athlete prefers to move, how this athlete prefers to think about certain movements, which is in return going to let us know and understand the different cues, the drills, and how we should be speaking to this athlete to deliver the information that he adequately needs. Now, this is going to be a lot more different than any just biomechanic assessment, because when you go in person or to different places, the assessments that athletes are getting are more biomechanic based, which doesn't give us the fullest understanding of what is happening beneath the surface. But with these two assessments, we understand what's happening beneath the surface so that we can target those a lot more straight on within our gym, the drills, and the cues that we're giving the athlete, and our guidance as well, so that they can make the most amount of improvement in a shorter amount of time, with everything just making the most amount of sense to them. Now that we have the integrated movement assessment, the motor preference assessment, our third assessment is going to include the biomechanics assessment. Now, within this assessment, we're going to grab all of the information that we have. We're going to look at what he's mainly struggling with. Why is that happening as well? We're going to go ahead and present that to the athlete, walk him through what our goals and timeline is going to be, and then our execution plan towards getting them there. Now, after that initial call, I'm going to go ahead and build out the entire program for the athletes and put it up within their app. Now, what does this actually look like? This works in season, off season, preseason. It doesn't matter. You could be the ace, you could be the guy on the bench, redshirting year. It absolutely does not matter. We are highly understandable that a lot of athletes, some of them either have jobs, some of them either have internships, some of them just are very limited on time. So again, we want to be able to make sure that we're integrating the program within the athlete, not the athlete into the program. That way everything flows nice and easy and fluid into everything that they're doing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys here a lifting plan would semi look like. They're gonna have their overview of every single thing that they have to do within the month. So again, once they click onto that, they're gonna have the exercises there. They're gonna have the drills, the reps, the sets, every single thing, as well as the guidance through the video explained by me of what exactly they have to do, how they have to do it, etc., and then any other additional cues that they have to focus on. So again, even when it comes to just the aspect of like, okay, how do we know we're doing the correct stuff? Our athletes also do have the ability to send us videos of them within the gym. That way we can critique it and give them constructive criticism on if they're doing it the correct way and anything else that they should be focusing on. That's part of the lifting plan. Lifting plan can probably be 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, even 4 times a week. It just depends really on what we're actually trying to target with the athlete. Some athletes have even gone up to six times a week. Again, this is just super independent of the athlete itself. But once we put those up, we're gonna have the corrective system as well. In their corrective system, they have everything on what to do each and every single day to correct their movement imbalances. Normally, we tend to do these 4 to 6 times a week. And we use the information that we got from the anatomical assessment to inhibit and mobilize and open up those ranges that they don't have access to, but their motor preferences requires it. So we go ahead and we use this information to make sure that we're getting them the right stuff in there so that they can open up those ranges and be able to utilize them. We also as well do have their arm care in there as well, as you guys see here. Now, of course, there are a lot of things to do in here. So how do we keep our athletes accountable? Our athletes have two-way communication access with us where they can send us videos. We send them a video back in response, showing them, hey, this is what you need to do. This is what things need to look like. And then we also use our throwing plans and system to mold that and show them this is exactly what they need to do step by step. So to kind of show you guys an example of what a throwing plan will look like, I use this athlete as an example. So he is in season. Once we go in, they get to see an overview of every single thing that they have to do for the month. Now, scrolling lower than that, we're going to have their warm-ups. Again, everything is highly detailed towards what their bodies need. Again, once you click these warm-ups, you're going to have a video explaining what they need to do, how they need to do it, etc. Now, within their throwing plan, they're going to have a throwing A, throwing B. These are the specific drills based on their preferences. And how do they know they got to get those drills in? Well, we're going to look at the day of throwing that they have within the week. And within that day of throwing, it's going to let them know either throwing B, throwing A, how far they got to go, the intensity, the time, and also any other position specific activity that they have to get in. Keep in mind, this is in season. Some of our athletes off season may have just pull down variations, velocity phases. This athlete specifically, we're just trying to mold them to get him up and running and ready for performing in season. As you guys saw on there, they have a delivery series. So what that is, this is what a delivery series is. It is entirely focused on having these athletes throw all of their pitches for strike. If they're struggling with a certain type of pitch, we go ahead and we put these in so that they can go ahead and have a guidance of what they need to throw, where they need to throw it. And that way we're improving their pitches, we're improving their tunneling, we're improving absolutely every single aspect of all of their pitches, which again, they do have access to sending us all those videos. Now, what does a breakdown kind of look like when we're breaking it down for these athletes? So this is, I'm going to show you guys an example. So once this athlete has sent me their videos within our communication channel, I'm going to go ahead and put them up in another video like this, kind of like the one that I'm doing. And I'm going to go ahead and explain absolutely every single thing that they're doing wrong. So I'm showing them here everything that they're doing wrong, and of course everything that they're doing right as well. Now, after I've demonstrated to them what they're doing wrong, again, I'm going to go ahead and go in here and show them, hey, this is what you need to think about this throw. This is how this needs to happen. This is what you're doing instead. So I'm actively showing them. And then from there, we go ahead and we take a look at their throwing plan as well. And then we highlight some key stuff that they need to be focusing on a lot more. Or if anything, I get to do the adjustments there and there for them. So that also comes to the question of like, how often are we also doing assessments, progressions, regressions, etc. So we set out the plan monthly for the athlete so that they have what to do every single day there. However, if something needs to change, something needs to pivot, then we go ahead and we pivot in that same exact week or that same exact day. So we go, I personally myself go into the program, or if you guys have another coach within training with us, we will go into the program and we'll make the adjustments for what we're trying to pivot towards. And again, this happens because we have a one-on-one communication access within us and the athlete as well. They can do it every single day if they wish to. We normally require for our athletes to send us videos twice a week. twice a week because it's mainly more like the cadence of their higher intensity days. However, if it's somebody who's in a more delicate situation, then the cadence of that will be a little bit different. Also, how do we know that our athletes are doing exactly every single thing that we're telling them to do? Like I had shown you guys before, again, keep in mind this is on my back end and I'm showing you guys myself as an example. I get to see absolutely every single thing that they do within the app. When did they get this done? How long did it take them? You know, what was the weight that they used? And then I see, as you guys are seeing up here, this is on my end. If I see that they haven't been doing the training for a certain amount of time, I go ahead and reach out directly and ask them why this is happening. So we keep each and every single one of our athletes accountable to the stuff that they have to do day in and day out. Now, this is within our communication channel. Parents have questions about how often do we progress. So this is me reaching out to this athlete. Hey man, we're doing good. Let me know what type of assistance you need. Going up soon. I have my own idea of it, but I always like to hear directly from the athlete. What exactly is it that they're looking for, or what exactly do they feel like it's missing, so that we can all be on the same exact page, because we want to use as much information as possible when we're making these changes towards these athletes programs. So for example, you can see him here. You know, he likes the progressions, etc. He wants to have a little bit more focus on having it be more full body than hyper focusing on one part specifically. And then he gave us some good notes. He hit a 93 last weekend, so that's pretty cool. Of course, I went back again with my feedback and I showed them exactly what he needed. This is also kind of like what it looks like when they send us videos. And then, again, I go ahead and reply into this Loom video, showing them exactly what they're doing, exactly what they need to do. For this athlete specifically, we were speaking about pitch design, which we got him away from a slider into a cutter. And here we're showing him again, how this stuff is, how the ball is coming out the hand, what he needs to think of instead, cues, etc., to be able to throw these pitches a lot more efficiently. So we're not only just training our athletes within velocity, we respect, again, where they are in season, what they're looking to do, whether they need to throw more strikes, whether they need to have an outlier pitch, or they need to change the pitch itself as well to make sure that it falls in well within their arsenal. On another note, for our athletes who are in season, what we normally have them do, because again, we want to make sure that we're giving the athlete everything they need to be able to perform better. We don't want to get them overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that they do. So example, this athlete, he sent me what he had to do within the gym. I went ahead and looked at all of those things. And after I looked at those things, I then after used and grabbed everything that we got from his assessment so that we can build a proper training plan that he needs to do in additional to this, or how to think about what he's doing within the gym with the team a little bit differently, so that we can target exactly the stuff that he needs. So he's not going out and getting 2 different lifts. Like if for this athlete, he was only required to lift 1 or 2 times, and the other lift that we made him was 1 time. It was a lot more movement based. Some athletes aren't required to lift at all in season with their team, so we can go ahead and take over that entirely. And again, this also looks different if you're in the off season as well. So that's kind of a snippet of how our remote training plan works, and it works with absolutely all different types of athletes across each level, from high school, junior college, division 1, and a professional level. And it works well with hands-on athletes as well, because the biggest difference between what we're doing and what other coaches are doing is that they're basing their feedback onto you guys based on what they think should be done next. We base our information based on the information that we have on you, based on the assessments, my knowledge, the athlete's feedback, and what we're trying to look at to do next. And yes, even though in person you may get instant feedback at times, a lot of that instant feedback is a lot of times reactive feedback, where a coach gives an athlete, hey, this was good, this was bad. But in reality, if you were able to sit back and analyze the whole entire video the way that we do on the remote side, you gauge a little bit more understanding, and you're not making emotional or having to do instant feedback to the athlete that is more reactive and not put behind through a logical base of what's happening, breaking everything down piece by piece. Now, one last thing I did want to show you guys is this is our metric system. Put the athlete in where they stack up based on our metrics. Again, our biggest thing though is just to help these athletes understand their movement preferences, their anatomical limitations, improve their movement capacity, After we improve all of those things, then we're going to go ahead and see, okay, what exactly are we missing? So we're going to put them up through our metric system. This is going to spit out where they at, what they're needing to improve on more, and everything is in accordance to what their preferences are as well, and their profiles, and just the movement quality of everything. So again, everything in here is very informational, and every single thing requires an understanding of what we need to do to make sure that we're giving this athlete the correct feedback possible. On top of that, other miscellaneous stuff that we have is we do have one time a week community call where the athletes can all jump in. They can ask live questions, learn from each other. And on top of that, the athletes do also have one-on-one access to speaking to us, scheduling a call depending on the package that you guys also choose. But without said, this is our entire plan. This is what's been helping us help get our athletes anywhere from 3 to 7 miles an hour within the time frame that they're training with us. So if you are looking for a program like this, you are looking to try to understand what your movement preferences are, what's actually holding you back, you're tired of doing your coach's lifting plan that's for the whole entire team and you're not getting noticed and you're struggling on the mound, it's okay. I get it, guys. This is exactly what we're trying to do with all of our athletes, giving them the proper roadmap so that they can eliminate all of these step backs and start being that guy for the team with increased velocity, better pitch movements, better command, you name it. So if that's something that you guys need, go ahead and book your call down below in the description where we're going to talk and see if you're a good fit for the program. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next one.